Howdy ho everyone, Coolstuff here. Welcome to your first and last lesson in trick stab theory. I'm going to be going over a bit of theory that I figured out over the past few weeks and doing some testing on other spies. Now, this isn't exactly going to be anything revolutionary to the TF2 community. I just think it's very useful as I've seen other spies do it before, but I've never seen it really visualized or explained as well as I'm about to explain it. I should state off the bat right now that this is going to be for spy versus spy duels only. Part of this theory can be applied to other classes. However, the basis of this theory is when doing backpedal stabs against other spies, you yourself will most likely not get backstabbed. It is not 100%, so I want to say that right now, that this method is not 100%. This whole method is not 100% foolproof. It is not. So with that out of the way, I'm going to talk just a little bit about how this stab works. So, I'm going to create a little legend down here. I'm going to create a few symbols here. This symbol symbolizes that this is where a player's general view is. Just basically their FOV, essentially. This is going to be where a player's going to be looking. This is not going to be their general view. This is going to be where they're actually looking. And just a regular arrow is going to basically mean where they are moving in relation to WASD. So, we're going to draw two spies here. These are going to be our little spies. Now, since this is a 2D drawing, I can't exactly display that they are going to be right next to each other. But if you could visualize and use your visualization skills that they are right next to each other, basically not even a hammer unit away from each other, essentially. Their hitboxes are touching. So, for a backpedal stab, you should already have some knowledge as to what a backpedal stab is, but if you don't already know, I'm going to put a time on screen right now so that if you do know, you can skip this. Okay, so what a backpedal stab is two spies are moving backwards. Hence the name backpedal. So they're both looking backwards, and they're both strafing against each other. Because they're trying to outmaneuver the other, or basically go faster than the other person to get to their back. Their general view is most likely going to be this way, as will this spy's as well. However, the problem with this is, it's heavily ping or interp dependent. Now, the problem with this is it's heavily dependent on either their interp or their lerp. So, with spies that have higher ping, they are most likely not going to benefit from this. This is definitely going to get them killed. Because their general looking direction is going to be this way, but they're most likely going to be looking this way. They're both going to be looking this way. And they're basically just trying to get to the same place faster than the other person. And this doesn't work for many reasons. But I'll get into that later. So the general basis of a backpedal stab is that they're both moving backwards. And they're both trying to stab each other in the back. Okay. Okay. So let's continue on here. For my theory on backpedal stabs against spies and how to not get backstabbed is very simple yet very effective. So, let's begin. Again, we're going to go under the assumption that you're both moving backwards. It doesn't matter how, you're both just moving backwards. Now, their general view direction is going to be this. They're generally going to be looking in this direction here. So they're going to be looking for your back. However, your general view direction should be this. And I'll explain that here in a minute. Actually more precisely about this. And I'm going to explain that here in just a minute. Now, the way you should be looking is directly at them. Because they're most likely going to be looking this way. This is going to be their direct line of view. I should probably make that a little bit better, shouldn't I? Their general view direction is going to be this way. So while they're looking forward and you're looking at them. Now, here's why this is very, very significant. Your back, right here, your back is facing away from them. So I'm going to create a new symbol over here real quick. This is basically going to be where your back is facing. Your back is facing this way, while their back is facing this way. That is very significant because their back is facing basically since their back is facing perpendicular to you, it's going to be much easier for you to get a backstab on them than for them to get a backstab on you, because they would have to strafe around you in order to get to your back. And this is significant for many reasons. And here is about strafing. Let's say the base movement speed for Spy is 100%. That's not an exact number, as I believe it's 107% for Spy, same as Medic, but we're just going to toss that number out there right now. In Team Fortress 2, no matter what class you're playing, if you press the S key to move backwards, you move slower than if you were to press D. Because if you're strafing at them using the letter D, because you're moving in this direction here, keep in mind, because you're moving in this direction. They're just moving in the same direction as you using a different key. So since they're using a different key to move at you, you have a significant advantage, because let's just say when you move slower, you move at 90% speed. But since you're pressing the D key, you're still moving at that 100% speed. So you are faster than them, which will definitely help you win many more fights. So since you're moving faster than them, it will be much easier for you to get to their back than for them to get to yours. The only way that they would be able to get to your back is if they strafe around and get to you that way. But not many people are going to be doing that in this exact fight, because they're planning on just backpedaling and getting to your back this way. So I have a few examples to show you how this looks in game from my perspective. I'm just going to show those up on screen real quick, and I'll show you why they work. Okay, so we've gone over how the stab works, but I'm going to show you it visualized in an actual game. So we're going to take this Spy right here. What I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to get to his back. I was doing just anything a Spy would normally be doing, strafing around him, yada, yada, yada. But this is where he goes for a backpedal stab. You can tell he's going for a backpedal stab based on how he's moving and where he's looking. Because you can see him start to move backwards. You can see that. He starts to move backwards, so I do the same. However, I employ what I call my tactic. Now, you can see right here that I am looking at him perpendicular to how he's looking. Because if I was to be looking parallel, I would be looking in the exact same way that he's looking. Because he's looking forward while I'm looking at him. That's a big distinction here. So I start to backpedal, as you can see, employing the tactics, so he can't even stab me. He can't stab me, because you can see when his model turns to hit me, it's just blood. He can't get to my back. However, since I'm strafing against him and looking away from him, no matter how hard he tries, I'm still able to get the backstab on him. Easy as pie. And here it is in real time.
Screen of
No.
Spy.
What? No.
Dude, that is so messed up because I can see your back and it just doesn't work.
If we move on to a better example of how it is when you collide with players, I asked a Meganic to basically try and stab me. So as you can see, we're both moving backwards. Again, I'm employing the same perpendicular looking strategy that I did with the previous Spy. And as you can see, he's not able to stab me because he's doing the exact same thing I'm doing. He's looking at me instead of looking forward, which means we're essentially doing the exact same thing. We can't get to each other's backs. So then, once he looks forward again, you can see that we're able to get a backstab in on him. Let me replay that again. We're doing the exact same thing, and then he looks forward as he would if he's trying to get a backpedal stab, and you can see my knife start to raise at this frame. This is the frame a backstab is possible. Let's keep going. So you can see here that a backstab is possible. Here's what it looks like at full speed.
Yeah, if we're both going for it, it's not gonna work.
They keep fucking closing in on me, two of them. I can't fight two at once, dude. I can barely fight one.
Now, I should make the distinction that ping plays a very big difference in stabs. And I'm going to show it from my perspective here real quick. So what I did was I changed my lerp time. I don't know if you can see that in chat. I don't know if it's too blurry, but it says my lerp time changed from 15.1 to 500. What I essentially did was gave myself CL interp 5, which means I'm about a second or so behind everyone. And I want to show you exactly how this works. I'm getting hit by rockets that shouldn't basically be there. I'm a second behind everybody else. I want you guys to watch how I get stabbed. See, my knife is raising and I'm not even anywhere near him. But he's gonna walk at me using the exact same tactic I did, and he's able to get a stab in on me. Because my back is not where it actually is. And he's able to get a stab in on me. However, when I drop down, and I do the exact same thing to him, he will be looking right at me, and I will still be able to get the stab. Because he's going to turn around and he's going to look right at me. He's looking directly at me, and yet, I'm still able to get the stab. That is how big of a role ping plays when you're trying to backstab as spy. Another very good visualization of this is with this man right here. What I did was I activated a duel in Spy Academy. This is the easiest way that I can demonstrate how bad CL Inter can be. So you see this little duel icon above his head, the little dual guns above him? That is where he actually is in correlation to his collision hull and hitboxes. His model does not reflect that. That is where it's showing me that he is, but that's not actually where he is. That's not where his collision hull or hitbox is in the slightest. Take a watch. I don't know if you caught that near the end, but watch how his dual symbol walks towards me, stops, and then he shows up and stops. I'm going to point this out again because you can see that it's not matching up where he is, and he goes to where it once was. So you can definitely see some bullshit happening here.
Depends on the effect. I'd hold out for now.
So let's go back to the drawing board real quick. So again, the stab relies on the fact that they are looking in this general direction, and that they're actually facing this direction, while your general direction is right here, and they're generally facing this direction, while your back is here, and their back is here. Thank you all for watching this lesson in trick stab theory. And as I always say, arrivederci.